Hey guys, how's it going? So today I am going to do a first impressions review of a game called GhostLore. Now this is a Chinese ARPG Diablo-like game, and it is created by two people, so it's a double, I guess I can say double dev team. And the game is not released as of me recording this video, and I don't know the price of the game either. So usually when I do these first impression reviews, I obviously at the end of the video tell you whether I think the game is worth the price or not. So if it's a $60 game, then it has to be very good. If it's a $5 game, then I give it a couple of leeway, I guess I can say. I give it a little bit of leeway if there's a couple of things wrong. So I don't know what the price of this game is, but the same as with the previous game that I reviewed that was not released, which was Divinity Chronicles, which actually turned out to be a really good game. I didn't know what that game's price was, but I said if it is less than $20, then I would absolutely recommend the game. And then the game released and it was a $15 game. So you guys get the idea. So I will be playing the game for an hour or two until I can happily say that the game is good or bad. And then I will give you my final opinion in the last 5 or 10 minutes of the video. So if you only want to hear what I think about the game, simply skip to the last 10 minutes or so of the video and I will give you my final opinions over there. But otherwise than that, the game is pretty straightforward. I've seen a bunch of videos on YouTube of the demo version of this game, but none of the full version of this game. And this is actually the full version of the game. The devs have confirmed that they have provided me with the full single player version of the game. Now the reason why the game is not out yet on Steam is that they're working on multiplayer, and once multiplayer is functional, they will then release the game into early access on Steam to further work on the multiplayer. But as for the single player part of the game, the devs say the game is 100% completely playable for single player. It's literally just the multiplayer part of the game that they want to still work on. And they said they're going to release the game on early access on Steam and then work on the game for about a year or so on the multiplayer side of things. So for the purposes of this video, this game is complete. It's literally a complete single player. The campaign is done, all of the characters is done, all of that kind of stuff. Now that's not to say that they won't add more characters and more dungeons later on. I mean, they do that in Diablo and all of that kind of stuff, you know, Titan Quest, any other ARPG, Path of Exile, they add more stuff as the game goes on. But the game is literally done and complete. The base game is done and complete for single player. So today we will be hopefully be able to determine if the game is good or not. And then after that I will say, okay, I would be willing to pay $20 for this game, or $10 or $5 or whatever, you know, depending on how good it is. Now, I will preface this by saying I am a very big fan of ARPGs. So an ARPG does not have to do a lot in order to impress me. Obviously, Grim Dawn, Titan Quest, Diablo 2, there are some really fantastic ARPGs out there. Those 3 ARPGs is probably the best ARPGs out there in my opinion. There's also Path of Exile. There's also Last Epoch, which is fantastic. I'm actually a massive fan of Last Epoch. It's a really good ARPG, which you can buy on my nexus.gg/LFP gaming link in the description below if you want to. So I'm a really big fan of ARPGs. So ARPGs, to be honest, don't have to do a whole lot to impress me, to be honest. One thing that I've noticed in the options screen is the fact that they do this. So they have bound the FPS with the resolution. Now, I don't like that. I much prefer the game to have separate drop downs for the resolution and separate drop downs for the FPS. But they did actually do that, kind of, because you can select your resolution there with the FPS, and then you can set your target frame rate over here as well. So it's a little bit strange that you have two areas where you select the FPS. So I'm not sure which one will actually take effect. Will we actually be playing at 30 FPS or at 60? Because for some reason the game does not give me the 1440p at 60 FPS option. It's literally not available to me. So even though my screen can run at 60 FPS, as you can see there's a whole bunch of 60 FPS options. My screen can even run at 2K 60 FPS. I do that when I watch like 4K movies and stuff like that. But anyway, with that being said, let's jump into the game. So the game is an ARPG, as I said. So Titan Quest or anything like that will be very familiar to you guys if you've played those games. And then you can choose a class. So there's already, like I said, the game is complete. Literally, the devs have said the game is complete. There's not any classes missing, nothing like that. The game is complete. So there's Adept, which, if we look at the skills, project a physical shield. While active, damage taken reduces MP instead of HP. Unleash a force wave that deals damage and pulls enemies. I have to say the game, the developers are Chinese, so the game is available in Chinese, simplified Chinese and traditional Chinese and English. Now, the game was developed by native Chinese speakers, but they also released an English version, so we will really have to see how good the English is. Perhaps if they are native Chinese speakers, their English prowess, I guess I can say, is maybe not up to snuff, you know, and that's coming from someone who is not a native English speaker. English is my third language. It's not even my second language. So we will see if the game's English translations are up to snuff. Summon a spectral blades to attack enemies and teleport to another location, leaving behind an after image at the previous location to distract enemies. So that sounds cool and everything. It's like a mage. This is a mage type character. Then there's the exorcist place, magical seal, glyphs on the ground that trap enemies that step on them. Call down a powerful guardian spirit, place a magical symbol on the ground that increases damage. Deploy several enchanted talismans that zero in on enemies. Obviously, if you've watched Naruto, then you will know about seals in the Chinese, I guess I can say, culture. They use seals like that with script written on it. So that's the same seals that you would see in many Asian mangas and animes like Naruto, for instance. Naruto and Bleach and all of that. Geomancer. So blizzard damage, fire damage in a small area. Quake, dealing damage to all enemies in its path, and then thunder, blah blah blah, a wave of sparks. So that is like a sorcerer basically, even though a geomancer is a good definition, I guess, can say for this class, since it is literally a geomancer. It can do earth damage, lightning damage, that kind of stuff. But traditionally that would be called a sorcerer or a wizard. Hashishin, Ashin, Ashen. Okay, so this is a Assassin. It's a type of assassin. Dashing strike. Dervish, which is a round attack, 360 degrees. Poison knives. And enter shadow form and perform a preemptive strike that deals high damage. Okay, so that's like a teleport attack, I guess. Then there's the feral. Lets out a roar that increases absorption and damage. Nearby enemies are stunned. Hurl shards of blood at enemies, costs HP. Deal damage to enemies in close range and steal their HP. Use the power of blood to transform into a were-trigger. So that's almost like a barbarian druid type character, if you are familiar with Diablo 2 at all. So that's like a druid mixed with a barbarian kind of. And then Sentinel. Conjure spears of light that deal damage to enemies in a wide area. Summon a murder of crows to fight by your side. Summon leopards to fight by your side. And hurl an enchanted chakram that passes through enemies and bounces off walls. So this is like an Amazon type character. Amazon that can summon leopards and crows. That's a weird combination, to be honest. Leopards and crows. You don't really expect that to really be a combo, but okay. One thing that I don't like about the game already is the amount of skills that you can have. Only having 4 skills makes the game feel like a MOBA. And I don't particularly like MOBAs like League of Legends or Defense of the Ancients. I don't really like that. So unfortunately, this is already one thing that I don't like. I would much prefer it to be like Last Epoch or Titan Quest, Diablo 2, anything like that, where you have a bunch of skills. I mean, each of those games probably has 15 or 20 or 30 even different skills, actual spells that you can use. Especially Titan Quest. Titan Quest has a shitload of spells, actual spells, in addition to the passives and stuff like that. So 4 per class is very little. That's very little. I guess I can say variance, you know, it's very little. So I'm not a fan of that. Now let's have a look at the passives quickly. When an attack kills an enemy, the remaining damage is dispersed in a surrounding area. Increases MP regeneration, chance to reflect, see several seconds into the future, increases avoidance against enemy attacks before they happen. So that's basically just a dodge thing. I do not like the Exorcist already because it places traps, and I am not a fan of any traps. The Geomancer seems cool. To be in tune with your flow of energy, increases your maximum MP, increases fire resistance, increases ice resistance, increases lightning resistance. Those are very bad passives in my opinion. Those are terrible passives. This one is like an assassin rogue type. Feral I don't like. Sentinel I might take. Hone your hunter instincts, allowing for greater accuracy with range techniques. Your projectiles pierce through enemies. That's very nice. Increases damage done to an enemy the further it is away. Increases the HP regen of all and absorb of all allies. So honestly, I would choose between the Sentinel or the Adept. I would have liked to take the Geomancer, but these passives are simply atrocious. So I don't think it would be a good class. So this one, Spiral Blades, Teleport. I'm not a fan of the teleport ability. I like to go full offensive, and that is not an offensive ability, to be honest. I mean, let's take the Sentinel. Why not? Let's take the Sentinel. And then you can change the color of your hair. Okay, so you can have girl hair and boy hair. You can't choose the sex of your character, but you can choose between girl hair or boy hair. And as far as I can see, it does not change the body at all. So, let's see. I guess we can take pink hair. Yeah, let's take pink hair and let's start. For many years, the Master Ghost Runner has defended the island of Seaport from the Mogwai, hostile creatures from the spirit world. However, a hunt has gone awry, and now the Master finds himself captured by the very forces of evil he swore to destroy. His fate now rests upon you, his trustworthy apprentice. Go forth and rescue your master from the vile clutches of the Mogwai. Okay, so one thing that I should point out, the developers have said that WA, S and D movement is not supported right now, but they are working on it. So right now you can't move with W, A, S and D. Now if you are used to playing Diablo 2 or Titan Quest or Path of Exile, anything like that, then this wouldn't really bother you at all. Not being able to move with W, A, S and D and only being able to move with a mouse is really traditional, to be honest, in my opinion. I know there's some people who prefer to play ARPGs with W, A, S and D, being able to move their character up and down like that, but really it doesn't bother me all that much. I would like to see that feature in the game as well, simply due to the fact that more choice is always better. So I won't be quote-unquote deducting points from the game simply because you can't move around with W, A, S and D, but it is something that you should consider for yourself. If you prefer to play games with W, A, S and D, then just be aware that the game currently does not support W, A, S and D, but it will in the future, according to the developers. Right now I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not seeing any items that I can loot. I'm not seeing any enemies. There's a lot of area to run around, but I'm not seeing any loot, any chests. I can't go into the buildings. I do like the fact that it shows your character when your character is obscured. That is very important. Okay, so you can just click on items to shoot them. Certain items, like barrels, you just click on them and then it automatically shoots them. I'm pressing Alt and Control and Shift, but I'm not seeing any items being highlighted. Okay, Alt over there. You can see there when I press Alt, it highlights the item on the ground. So that is the key that you need to press in order to highlight items on the ground. Okay, here's some zombies. Now the very first thing that I'm going to want to see is, does gold, and honestly does any items, disappear? I absolutely despise games where items disappear. So we're going to be keeping an eye on those coins over there. If they disappear, then already I am going to not enjoy this game. I despise games where loot disappears. I played a previous game. What was the game? 1 second, let me check my Steam quickly. Sorry for the game freezing. Solar Purge. I did a review of Solar Purge, and loot disappears in that game very quickly. Solar Purge is actually also a kind of an ARPG game. It's a little bit more of a twin stick shooter, but still it's more or less like this game, like an ARPG. And in that game, loot disappears, and I absolutely hate games where loot disappears. It's a very, very unnecessary and lazy way to increase the performance in your game, because obviously in some games you would increase performance if your game doesn't have to constantly render stuff on the ground, like gold. Like, let's say the entire screen is full of gold. Then obviously if the gold disappears after a while, that means that you are literally freeing up resources for your game engine, you know, so that your game engine can render less stuff, less quote-unquote unnecessary stuff. So there is logic behind sometimes making loot disappear, but like for instance in that Solar Purge game that I reviewed, loot disappeared after a minute, literally 60 seconds that you have, and then the loot disappears, and that's just hilarious. It's terrible to make loot disappear after just 60 seconds. So it seems this game, if loot does disappear, then it's after more than 5 minutes, to be honest, because I left that gold on the ground for close to 5 minutes probably, and it did not disappear. So either loot doesn't disappear at all, or it takes a very long time to disappear, and I'm absolutely fine with that. If you haven't picked up loot after 5 minutes, then that's your problem, you know. But I have a sneaking suspicion that loot does not disappear at all in this game, and that's really fantastic. That's the way that I would want it to be in all games. One thing that I don't like about the game is the fact that walls like this, small little walls, block projectiles. So if I shoot over there, then you can see it's blocking the projectile. In my opinion, that should not be the case. You should be able to shoot through a little fence like that with no problem, you know. The bullets are going through these hedges, no problem, but not over these small picket fence type things. So that's one thing that I don't like, to be honest. But so far the game is very chill, extremely chill. I'm not feeling overwhelmed. It's very, very chill so far, which is fine. You don't want the player to feel overwhelmed at the beginning, you know, at the beginning of the game. I mean, even in Diablo 2, for instance, at the beginning when you go through the first area, there's zombies, and the zombies move very slowly and very deliberately, and Blizzard did that for a reason. There's a reason why they didn't put very fast moving enemies in the very beginning of the first zone, because the player needs to get acquainted with the movement of the game and the playstyle of the game and all of that kind of stuff. So Oh, there's a chest over there. So I can totally appreciate the fact that these devs have gone for the same approach, where you don't want your players to feel mobbed at the very beginning of the game, you know. Rather ease them into the game, and they will have a much better experience that way. Now, one thing that I don't like is the fact that that chest did not show up when I pressed Alt. Because I pressed Alt and it didn't show up. I'm not a fan of that. I would really prefer any lootable objects to show up when you press Alt. And when I hovered over that chest, it didn't even show a name, it didn't show chest, it didn't show anything. Like, here's another one. I'm pressing Alt right now and nothing is coming up. So chests, you have to really keep your eyes peeled for chests, because the game is not going to take it easy on you with regards to chests, it seems. You really have to wake up if you want to get chests in the game, it seems. I'm not a fan of that. I do prefer it if the game shows chests when you press Alt. It should show any lootables. Even some games show all barrels on the screen as well when you press Alt. This game doesn't, and I'm not gonna give it grief for that. Like, some games will highlight the barrel if you press Alt, and I'm pressing Alt right now and nothing is coming up. So, but I won't give the game grief for that. I will, however, give the game grief for, like I say, not highlighting chests when you press Alt. I do prefer it if chests are highlighted with Alt. So I've already got 2 or 3 levels. I will use them when I feel like I'm getting a little bit of a more difficult time dealing with these enemies, but right now I'm honestly just shooting them with my normal attack, and I'm not feeling under pressure or nothing like that. You can move through this fire. You do take some damage, but it's very little damage, to be honest. So fire really isn't very hazardous in the game. Here's something, wheat. Here's another chest. The colors of the game is very, I would almost say confusing. Like, I mean, look at this. This is, I don't know. I think people who have any form of color blindness, either red or blue or green or yellow, color blindness will really struggle with this game. Like, this game is really colorful, really colorful, and the colors aren't segregated, I guess I can say. I mean, if you look at the trees and the stuff, it's just an explosion of color, and it's not nicely packaged color. It's like literally, oh, there's a lot of guys. It's literally like, oh, there's a boss over there. It's literally like just a bunch of color. Like, there's no real form to the color. It's just like a heap of color. And I really think people who have color blindness will really struggle with that. The game also, obviously, in the options menu does not have any colorblind options. So That's another thing that is necessary. I know a couple of people who are colorblind, and I think this game will be absolutely terrible on their eyes. Like if you're playing something like Fall Guys, for instance, Fall Guys is a game that's very colorful, but the color is nicely segregated in separate areas, whereas this game, there's just fucking color everywhere. There's red everywhere, there's green everywhere, there's blue barrels and stuff everywhere. These icons here at the bottom are blue, so if you are either red or blue or green or yellow deficient in your eyes, then you're going to have a terrible time with this game. There's another boss over there. I do like the fact that I can spam the the enemy from so far away. I don't like games where your shooting range is limited, you know, like when the bullets can only go a certain distance. I'm not a fan of that at all. So that boss literally just stood there and allowed me to blast its face off. Like, why is those gold moving away from me? Literally, they're running away from me. The gold is like, no, we don't want to be captured. And that's probably a little bit of a bug. The game is obviously going to have a few bugs. I mean, bugs are just a part of gaming, you know. Even Diablo 2 till this day has bugs, you know. Look at that, the gold is literally running away from me. So the game is obviously going to have bugs. All games have bugs. So before we talk to this guy, let's check out our inventory. So I right now have Quiver Shield, that's all. I don't even have a weapon, like a base weapon. It is possible that you can't get a base weapon with this character and that the quiver is literally your weapon. That is possible. Let's see if we switch to spear. Yeah, so then my left click completely changes. And then if we swap to Kukris. Wow, that's really cool actually. Okay. And then Parang. Don't know what any of these weapons are, but the game is, or like I said, heavily Chinese oriented. I guess I can say the entire game is based on the Chinese belief that there are spirits, benign spirits, hostile spirits, passive spirits, all around us, and you can, I guess I can say, interact with them. You can hold rituals, tea rituals, incense. Incense is meant to drive away evil spirits, all that kind of stuff that the Chinese lore and mythology around spirits has been around for 8,000 years or whatever. So this game is heavily based on that and the obviously different weapons of the Chinese culture, I guess I can say. So this is like a sweeping machete type attack. And then we get a Chris. We all know a Chris from Diablo 2 as well. Okay, so each and every one of the different weapons not only attack quicker or slower, but have different animations, have different sweeping motions. The one sweeps more, the other one sweeps less. So the one will do a little bit of area of effect damage, the other one won't. And they obviously do different damage. So that's really cool actually. I really like that weapon system. Reminds me of the weapon system of Van... What was it? Van Helsing? No, it wasn't Van Helsing. What was that game? It was Van something. Van... Let me quickly have a Google. Victor Vran is the game. Victor Vran. It's a game from the early 2000s, well, 2010s, and in Victor Vran, which is also an ARPG game, it's not a particularly good ARPG game. I mean, it's totally playable, but it's not nearly as good as something like Last Epoch or Path of Exile or Titan Quest, but it's completely playable. So anyway, in Victor Vran, which is also an ARPG, each and every weapon that you equip completely changes your skills that you can use, and it seems that this game would be the same as that. So we have wheat, we have ice gem, which is a socket gem. Then we have glyphs, couple of different glyphs, plus 100 to maximum MP, accuracy, avoidance. I don't know, perhaps we will be able to put this on our gear or something like that. This is another glyph. Compound glyphs grant additional bonuses for every different simple glyph type in its area of effect. Okay, so glyphs over here to the side. Let's have a look. So currently my HP is 575. So if we put this over here, okay, so it increases my MP, not my whatchamacallit. Okay, so 330, and then it becomes 430. Okay, so that's really cool. So all of these glyphs that you can pick up, you can literally just like boom, 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 draw all of them over there. Skill damage, maximum HP, basic attack damage, all of this. This is actually really cool. I like this system. It's almost like you can equip a whole bunch of passives, you know? And it's also the same as the Diablo 2 glyph system. Was it glyphs? Charms. Diablo 2 charm system. Because in Diablo 2, you got charms that dropped, and you got small charms, you got big charms, and then large charms as well. I think the maximum charm size was 3. You got like one that was long, that is 3 spaces. But anyway, so this is almost literally the same as that system from Diablo 2, but you have a separate inventory for all of your glyphs. So it's not like Diablo 2 where the glyphs or the charms stay in your inventory. You can actually move the charms to a different inventory. So that's pretty nice. And then blah blah blah. Compound glyphs grant additional bonuses for every simple glyph type in its area of effect. Simple glyph type. Simple. Okay, so I'm not sure what that means. Let's have a look. Oh, okay, so this one is long. Okay, so you get certain glyphs that take up more area than just one. Okay. And can you rotate it? I don't know if you can rotate it. You probably can't rotate it. Okay, but that's really interesting. So you're gonna get normal glyphs or charms, and you're going to be able to combo them with stronger glyphs like this one, which actually affects the glyphs around it as well. That's really interesting. I already like this game's quote-unquote skill system quite a lot. Well, that isn't even the skill system, that's just the inventory system. Let's have a look here at the actual skills and the level up stuff that we have. So there's obviously your different skills. So we can summon leopards. We will definitely do that. And then you can summon crows. We will definitely do that. And then on each of the different skills, you can have passives, which augment the particular skill. Let me just see here. Conjure spears of light that deal damage in a wide area. 9 projectiles. And this one is 1 projectile that passes through enemies. I think I would rather go for this one than this one, to be honest, even though this one does double the damage of this one, but there's multiple projectiles, so I would rather go for the multiple projectiles. So let's take that one as well. How does it look? Okay, so it's like an AoE type thing, and it's also it regenerates over a certain period until 5. So you can go like that 5, but then you can't cast anymore until you have generated more spears. Okay, that's interesting. And then crows. Okay, I can't summon any more crows. And I can't summon... Okay, well, two panthers is the most, and then 2 crows are the most right now. Even though it shows 10, 10, and 2, 4. But that is, I guess, if they actually die and you resummon them. Okay, so let's have a look here. Increases minion limit, reduces MP drain, increases damage. So I definitely would want to increase the minion limit. We're gonna increase the panthers, and then I don't have any passive traits over here. For every 5 skill points you spend in this class, you gain 1 passive point to unlock a passive skill. Okay. Wow, I just realized that there's multiple classes. You can choose a second class at level 15, and then you can choose a third class at level 30. That's really, really awesome. That's the same system, basically, that Titan Quest uses. Where, well, Titan Quest and Grim Dawn, they're basically the same games in any way, where you only have 1 specialization at the beginning, but then at level 10 you get a second specialization. So that's really, really cool. This basically uses the same system as that. That's really cool. So not only are you going to be able to summon creatures and have the sentinel skills, you're going to be able to choose a second and a third class later on as well, and then you're gonna be able to have their passives over here as well. That's really cool. I really like that. The game just got a lot more interesting, to be honest. I do not like the fact that it's literally skipping W. You can see that the devs are planning on implementing the WASD scheme, the movement scheme, because W is absent here. So it's Q, and then it skips W, instead goes to E, and then RT. So it just feels weird on the keyboard. Having Q and then ERT is just weird. You might be able to change that. Let's have a look here. It would be nice if you could change that. Let's see. Yes. So let's change that to W, E. Come on, E. Okay. And then R. So now it is W, E, R. Yeah, that's fine. Q, W, E, R. That's the way that you would expect it to be. So this is a little bit better. It's nice that you can change it, but like I said, the reason why it was like that is because the developers are planning on implementing the ASD movement scheme. Master Ghost Runner, thank you. I am fortunate to have you as an apprentice, for it seems like age has finally caught up with me. Here, take my homing compass. I have exhausted myself in battle and no longer have the energy to use the compass's magic. Use the homing compass to bring us back home. You can use the homing compass to teleport to the town of Seaport from anywhere at any time. Okay, well, let's go ahead and do it. Seaport, despite being blah blah blah. Okay, I'm not gonna read all of that. One thing that I should point out, which is a little bit of a bad thing for the game, the Mugwe attacks have disrupted trade, and the walkers of the streets are having a hard time procuring the ingredients to cook their signature dishes. Gather the missing ingredients, and they might treat you to a meal. Okay. One thing that is a little bit unfortunate of the game, even though it might be an actual choice by the developers, but one thing that I noticed when I looked at the game files of the game, because I really often look at the game files of a game before I actually play the game, is the fact that the music in the game is really quite lackluster. There's, out of all of the music in the game, there's one song that I like, and none of the other songs are to my liking. They're really, I guess I can say, bland and somber and stuff like that. It's not, I don't know, maybe I'm a little bit spoiled where I'm used to playing games with good soundtracks. But I mean, we need to remember a game like Diablo 2 and Diablo 1, they didn't have good music. I mean, you might have a different opinion on this, but in my opinion, the Diablo 2 did not have good music. And this game also, in my opinion, does not have good music. There's one song that I like in this entire game's music when I had a look at the game files, but like one song out of all of the music in the game is pretty terrible that I like. And that means that for your entire, or at least for my entire playthrough of the game, like if I play 10 hours, 20 hours, 30 hours, however long the game is, throughout that entire time basically I'm gonna be listening to quote unquote bad music that I don't enjoy. So that's one criticism that I have of the game. The music, in my opinion, is not good. But then again, like I said, I did not like the music of Diablo 1 or 2. So if you liked the music of Diablo 1 and 2, then we simply differ on our opinions of those two games and of what the definition of good music actually is. But in my opinion, this game does not have good music. Master Ghost Hunter, once again, thank you for saving me. Although I have held this off for long as I could, I think it is time I retire. The homing compass is yours now. For now on, my duty will be mentoring the next generation of Ghost Hunters. I believe your fellow apprentice Nydir has something urgent to tell you. She does not fight on the front lines, but her keen mind has served her well. Hey friend, you know the machine I've been working on, the separator, it's almost done. See there? As you might know, the Mogwai attacks have gotten more frequent lately. My theory is that for some reason the dimensional wall that separates the physical world from the spiritual world has been weakening. So when fully functional, the separator should restore the dimensional wall and keep the Mogwai from breaking through. But in order to get into that state, we need funding. So I've managed to get a couple of odd jobs I need your help to complete. Here's the first job. The plantation workers of Paloi Hijua have been complaining about a horrible smell that's killing their crops. They suspect it's due to the plant-like Mogwai, the Rafflesia. being nearby. Take a trip to Palwai Yijawan, kill the Rafflesia, then we'll meet here again. But make sure you take a bath before you come back. Thanks. A little bit of humor thrown in there. So far, I have not seen a single problem with the English of this game. So it would seem that the English translation was actually done very competently. Calligrapher. Place compound glyph. I assume that's a compound glyph. Randomize glyph but keep shape. Randomize shape but keep glyph. Okay, so you can change the shape of the glyph. That's nice. Blacksmith. Add a socket, increase item level, upgrade to magic item. Okay, so currently I have 2,000, well, 3,600. Let's see. Okay, so I can't do any of this right now. I guess I need that thing over there, whatever it is. Some kind of a gem, which I will probably acquire later on. There's quite a few vendors here. Resets all skill points. Blah blah blah. Okay, it doesn't actually say what happens. Oh, did my dudes actually disappear? So they actually disappear after a while. Okay, I didn't know that. Remedy restores HP, restores MP, restocks skill uses. Oh, okay, so restocks skill uses. So if you use that, then your skill uses will be refreshed. So if you're 0 out of 5 and you use an ointment, then it gets restocked. Okay, so that's interesting. I didn't know that that would be even an option to restock them. Place gem or socketed item, combine gems, destroy gem but keep item, destroy item but keep gem. That's a really standard. It's the same system that Diablo 2 uses. And then there's storage as well. Okay, here you can change your hair, you can get a hat, you can get a scarf, you can change your look of your weapon, and you can change the look of your shield. I only have one scarf right now, but I'm assuming you can get more scarves later on, and you can get a different hat as well. But all of it costs money, so I'm not going to do that right now, but it's nice. I like being able to customize your appearance. That's one thing that unfortunately Diablo 2 did not have at all. Change music. Well, I'm definitely going to change the music once I unlock the music that I actually like. The music that I actually like I said, there's one song in the entire game that I like, is called Temple. It's the temple music. So once I actually unlock the temple music, I'm gonna have that mother on repeat constantly. I can actually play it for you guys right now, and then you guys can see what you think. Just 1 second. Okay, so I'm gonna play the song for you guys that I actually like. I might even leave it on repeat for a little while because I actually like the song. But like I said, it's literally the only song in the entire game that I like out of all of the songs. And there's, let me quickly tell you, there are about 30 songs in the entire game. So I'm gonna play the song right now. I'm actually right now browsing the game files, so that's how I'm able to play the song. So let's play the song on repeat for a little while. I actually really like this song, to be honest. I'm just gonna turn the volume up a little bit, and then you guys can hear the song that I like. Literally the only song that I like in this entire game. Yeah, so that is literally the only song in the entire game that I like. I don't know what you guys think about it, but I like this song. It's a pretty good song. I'm gonna play it once more, and then after that I will switch back to the normal audio of the game. Yeah, so that's the one song in the game that I actually like. So when I actually unlock that one, then I'm definitely gonna play that one on repeat with that dude in the town. As we can see, there was a dude in the town that allows you to play music on repeat, but obviously right now there's only two things that I can play on repeat, two songs, so you definitely will have to unlock more as you go on. One thing that I don't like is that I literally can't see how many of my pets are alive. Like now, one of my crows are gone, so I don't know if the crow is still attacking people. Okay, well, apparently it was still busy attacking people, and there's literally no way for me to know where my crows are. They don't show up on the map at all. You can't see their stats, you can't see their HP. Like in Diablo 2, it actually shows the HP of your pets. But in this game, it doesn't show it. It doesn't show the location of your pets, nothing like that. So that's definitely one thing that I think should be added to the game, is the status of your pets and also the location of your pets, because you need to be able to see where your pets are, and if your pets are dead, do you need to resummon them or not, you know, that kind of stuff. That one crow of mine is like fucking Leroy Jenkins. He's just running out and attacking people. But I do like the pets. The pets are seemingly quite powerful because they are just owning these enemies. I hate it when you can summon pets in a game, but the pets are useless. Like, really, there's some ARPGs that I've played where the pets are just absolutely terrible. They aren't aggressive enough, they don't deal enough damage, and It really seems like in this game that is not going to be a problem. Oh, I get some kind of a special talisman there. Don't know what it is. I would have liked it if the pets actually attacked barrels as well. Like all of these barrels, it would be really nice if the pets actually attacked the barrels. That's definitely one thing that I'm going to suggest to the developers, because I would like to see that happen, because it's irritating having to destroy all of the barrels. Certain barrels don't get destroyed, and it would just really save you a lot of time as a player if you don't need to worry about attacking the barrels and all of that kind of stuff. There's something to loot there, but I can't... Okay, there we go. I couldn't actually get to it initially. The movement throughout the environment is a little bit clunky, I have to say that. I'm constantly bumping into stuff. It's just a little bit clunky. I really think it could be improved. I do like the fact that the game has a day and night cycle. I feel like the day and night cycle is a little bit fast. It's like 5 minutes or so, and then it's the next day. But I do like the fact that it has a day-night cycle. They could maybe just reduce the speed of the day-night cycle slightly. Let's quickly have a look at all of my ruins. Oh, my inventory is full apparently. Blah blah blah. So it doesn't say what the glyph actually does. Like this one it says plus 36% additional allies. But this one it doesn't say. So I wonder. Let's have a look what it actually does when I equip these glyphs. Okay. So you put it there, and then if you put something on top of it, you get different bonuses. That's really interesting. So these glyphs aren't actually glyphs, technically. They're more like set glyphs, kind of. But it's really interesting. I really think the devs have an interesting method of doing the entire skill system. It's quite interesting. I don't like that glyph. Let's try this glyph. Ah, here you see. Projectile pierce. Extra damage. That looks nice. So that's a much better glyph in my opinion. And then here's a weapon. Okay, so that's a weapon. Okay, let's have a look. Avoidance. I'm not really a fan of avoidance. Basic attack damage will be nice. Let's take those out. So attack damage. Does it stack or not? I wonder. One thing that I should point out, let's see. Oh, okay, so there's the damage. I almost wanted to say one thing that I want to point out is the fact that you can't see your own stats, but here's your stats over here. So 32 is what I currently do, and 35 skill damage. And then if I take one of them away, if we go over here again, 32. So the attack damage stayed the same, skill damage stayed the same, 32. So seemingly you can only get one bonus. The bonuses don't stack. So it's not like I get +3 over there. It stays the same. Okay, so that's something that we need to keep in mind. You can only get one bonus of each type from a particular glyph. You cannot stack them. You can only get one bonus per stack. Okay, item find chance I would rather want. Okay, which one was that? Projectile pierce. Okay, that's nice. I definitely want projectile pierce. And then skill damage. I don't really care about skill damage. So let's go for that one. Someone just messaged me on Steam. 1 second. Okay, so if you thought that Steam sound was on your side, then no, it was definitely on my side. Let's have a look. So I now have the glyphs that I would want out of here, so that's fine. I got the magic find and the item find chance, that's good, and then the projectile pierce and the basic damage attack. That's basically the best that I would ever be able to get out of that ruin. We get more maximum HP, more basic attack damage, more maximum HP, more maximum HP, more accuracy, avoidance I'm not a fan of, skill damage we can take, and that's basically it. And then let's have a look. I don't like the fact that the minions despawn. I'm not a fan of that. I prefer minions to be eternal. Get a different shield, but it's not better than mine. This one is slightly better than mine, so I guess we can equip it. And then I have a couple of different weapons, but I like the ranged weapon a lot, so I probably will not be moving away from my ranged weapon. Perhaps these talismans are ranged, I'm not sure. We will definitely test that. Ah, there's another quiver actually. Let's see, and that quiver is better than mine. It does about 7 damage more, which is pretty good, so we will definitely be switching to that. But before we do that, let's check out this one. Oh, that's cool. So this is a ranged attack weapon, and it does 30 to 54, so that is better than my quiver, even better than my second quiver that I would have put. It's even better than that one, so that's pretty good. I think we will be using this weapon from now on, depending on how much damage it actually does, because it is obviously, I don't know if it does that amount of damage on each projectile or not. But we will find out very quickly if that is the case. Okay, so do I need to go over there? Let's press tab, then it will show you the area. I don't like the sound of the attacking of this weapon. Okay, so you can see it does not do 30 damage or whatever per projectile. It does about 10 damage per projectile. But still, the benefits that I get from this item because it is a purple item, is pretty good. My inventory is going to be full very soon, I feel. I wouldn't say that I don't like the environment and the setting and stuff like that, but it is a little bit overwhelming. I'm not a person who really gets overwhelmed by games often, but I have to say I feel a little bit overwhelmed. It's just all of the colors are really jarring, I guess I can say, and the constant bumping into stuff, just trying to get through the zone, you're constantly bumping into stuff. I don't think the level design and the aesthetic and all of that kind of stuff is as good as it could be. So let's have a look here. Just 1 second. My inventory is full now. Basic attack damage, we can definitely swap out that one. My inventory is full, so what can I do about that? It doesn't seem like I can sell items or anything like that. Let's have a look at my powers. We want to summon one more of those, and then I get a passive point. Hone your skills, allowing greater accuracy with range techniques. Projectile pierce. Holy shit, 100% projectile pierce. That sounds really insane. 50% more damage at 2 range, and then regenerate 15 HP per second and 2 absorb. That also sounds insane, but let's go for the pierce first. I think the pierce will be really good. That really sounds insane. Usually in a game you would get like 5% pierce or 10% pierce. In this fucking game it's 100% pierce. They go balls to the wall right from the beginning. Okay, so my inventory is now full, and I don't think there's any way for me to do anything about that. So I can teleport. Let's teleport. But if I do that, can I come back here or not? I'm not too sure. Let's have a look. Let's teleport back and then just hope we can come back later. Okay, so I actually now have enough ingredients to make some of these meals, but I don't know what it will actually do. I don't know how long it will last. I don't know what the stats are, like what will you actually get? What benefits does it actually give you? I mean, let's try it. Okay, plus 11% skill recharge duration. And then let's try this one. Plus 10% damage reflected. And then plus 20% magic item chance. Holy shit, that is good. Plus 20% magic item chance is insane. Okay, and I don't know how long the bonuses last. I assume the bonuses last forever, but I guess we will find out. Okay, so let's quickly go to a vendor. I think this guy, no, apparently he's not a vendor. That's storage. Okay, this guy is a vendor. So we can sell all of this. How do you sell? Control, okay, control left click sells the stuff. I had to figure that out on my own, but fortunately I've played a lot of ARPGs in my time, so usually it is control click or shift click or anything like that. So I'm just going to sell these, or maybe I should store them. Perhaps you do something later on with the ruins. I'm not really too sure. The weapons and the shields and stuff like that I will sell, but the rest of the stuff I'm gonna keep and put in my storage. I don't know what the effects of this ruin is. We might be able to fit it in. Allow the smith to upgrade a common item into an uncommon one. Allow the smith to upgrade an uncommon item into a rare one. Plus poison damage. I don't... Oh, I do have sockets. Okay. So I could put some of these sockets into my item right now if I wanted to, but to be honest, I don't really want to. Let's put all of these in there. Let's quickly have a look here. Okay, so there's not really going to be any way. No, maybe? Oh yes, I can. Yes, I definitely can. Okay, so let's do this. Move that over there. Then we put this over there. Okay, so now I have two set ruins in here. MP gained per kill, HP gained per kill, and MP gained per hit, HP gained per hit. Okay, so that's pretty nice. So let's see. Okay, I already have that one. So we should put in another one. HP. That's good. And then Selly. Do I have any Selly? Yes, I do have a Selly. Okay, so that's pretty good. And then what was the ruin that I took out? Let's put that one in and that one in. That actually gives MP, and I don't really care about MP, so let's swap that one out. I think that's pretty good. Is there any that gives less MP? No. Okay, so that's pretty good. So now I have an additional set of glyphs. Okay, and my items have not disappeared. I really like that. I hate it when items disappear. So far, like, I'm really impressed with this game. Like, really. I did not expect the game to be as competent as it has shown itself to be. So I'm really impressed with the game so far. I did not expect a game as good as this to come from two Chinese devs. Like, really, I am surprised. Like, this forest right here epitomizes the claustrophobic and a little bit confused environment of the game. I just feel that it's a little bit unnecessary. I mean, what's the use of this bloody forest? It's just so non-streamlined, I guess I can say almost. It's very much not streamlined. And I just feel that it could be done a lot better. All of these trees should be taken out. It's just really unnecessary. You're constantly bumping into stuff. It's just not necessary. That's one thing that Diablo 2 does better than this game. Most of the areas are nice or open, big areas. You don't feel claustrophobic or anything like that in the Diablo 2 environments. Whereas the same certainly cannot be said in this game's environments. Some of the chests sometimes simply don't want to break. I don't really understand it. Some chests break, some chests don't break. Or not chests, barrels. I love the fact that my pets just run in there and obliterate everything in sight. Like, honestly, I don't even need to lift a finger most of the times. My pets will do everything. Sure, my pets die, like they do die. The pets aren't very powerful with regards to health, but they do a lot of damage. Like, I'm just running around picking up all of the loot that's dropped from the carnage that happened. I think perhaps because the game's levels are randomly generated, it's possible that the system is generating a little bit too much forests. Because, I mean, these forests are just fucking everywhere. And the game does apparently use randomly generated levels, so I think the devs should turn down the forest generation in their game level map generator from like fucking 90% where it is right now down to something much more manageable, like 20% or something like that. Because I mean, look at this. This isn't even a level. This is just random. It's like there's nothing in this entire area. Nothing to loot, no enemies. It's just random. And I really think that it is an issue with the random generation of the maps. So I should actually go back over there, or do I just want to leave it? I mean, I can leave it. That's probably no problem. So yeah, I definitely think they can do a better job with the generation of the maps, because right now it's just an insane random collection of tree zones. Like, look at this, it's just fucking trees everywhere with nothing in them. Like, if there was a couple of enemies between the trees, then fine, but it just seems that there's literally nothing in the zones that have the trees. So yeah, that's definitely one thing that can be improved. Once again, here's a massive tree zone over here with nothing in it. Oh, there's one item over there. Well, it's not even an item, it's what do you call it? Wheat. And I can't even get over there. Literally, I'm clicking and I can't even get over there. So there's clearly, like I say, some issues with the random generation of the levels. It's totally fine to have random generation in levels, but you can't have the generation system or the generation algorithm that you use, I guess, just churning out dog shit levels that have like an insane amount of nothingness going on in them, you know? I just think that it can be done a lot better. I would rather have linear levels like Diablo 2 had. I know that Diablo 2 had sets of levels, so you can either get the dungeon A or dungeon B or dungeon C or dungeon D. This is a fact that is very well known by speedrunners of Diablo 2. There's sets of levels, so Diablo 2 did not have random generated levels. They had sets of different pre-generated linear levels, and I would much rather want linear regenerated levels than this kind of stuff where the levels just don't make any sense, you know. I mean, it's not like hindering our progress or anything like that, really, you know. It's not game breaking so far, but I mean, it really comes down to a quality of life thing. You don't want to be roaming massive areas with nothing in them. Ouch. Holy crap, that thing has a lot of life. 8,000, I think that's a little bit unnecessary. Yeah, holy shit, I definitely think that amount of HP on a boss is a little bit unnecessary. You should not be attacking the boss for 2 minutes. You know, that's just unnecessary. And here again is a large piece of nothingness. But that's fine, we are done with the level. We can go back. Alamak, you Bordeaux. What did I tell you about taking a bath? I don't know what that means. Perhaps it's incorrect translation. But good job so far. Okay, then we can choose an item. My current item is really good, actually. So I don't think I will be going for any of those items. Let's go for this one. 3 MP gained per kill. I'm not sure if that's gonna be good or not. Look at this monstrosity sitting right here in the middle of our fine city, eh? What is that false stench? Is it coming from you, Eurofraft? Do you know who I am? I am Alter Zenith, senior member of the ruling council of elites. You dare smell bad in front of an elite? Get out of my face. You people these days have no respect for their elders. That's funny. You dare smell bad in my presence? That's funny. Ayo, that man over there is Elder Zenith from the ruling council of elites. Back when I was with the Institute of Paranormal Studies, I proposed the Separator project. Not only did he get it shut down, I heard he also pulled some strings and got me fired from the Institute. To this day, I don't know what his bloody problem is. I bet you're glad you only have to fight monsters and not have to deal with office politics, eh? Anyway, you can stare all he wants. We already got ourselves a permit to set it up here, so there's nothing he can do about it. Let's focus on your next job. We received word that a group of cultists are performing a Mogwai summoning ritual at Palau Kubor. Go there and stop them. One thing that I have to say about the game is the fact that the names are really unwieldy. Unfortunately, unwieldy names are really common in many Chinese games. They simply do not bother really quote unquote translating the names, and they just really copy the names whole cloth, as I can say. Maybe like there are certain names like what's an example? Like I can even use an example from my country. In my country there's a place called Wolvekale. Now, if you were to translate Wolvekale to English, it would translate as Wolves Den. So a den of wolves, it would translate as Wolves Den. But you can't translate it directly. You can't do that. The place's name is Wolvekale. It has to stay Wolvekale. You can't then, if an English person comes up to a person and asks where's Wolves Den, they aren't going to have any idea what that person is talking about. There's no town called Wolves Den. There is a town called Wolvekale. So it's the same thing in this game. All of the massive names, I mean, I can't show you guys, even though I can show you if you go over here. all of the names in the game, there's a bunch of really clunky names like Pu Lua Kabor and Pulua Yi Jawan. It's like you literally have to read the name a couple of times over before saying it, because the names are just terrible. So I would have liked it if those were just made a little bit more English friendly. It's totally fine to have those names in Chinese. Obviously they will then be written in Mandarin with the Mandarin script and all of that kind of stuff, but in English that's just really clunky. It's really clunky to be talking to some of the NPCs and then they whip out names like Kalua Yi Jawan. It's just weird. So that's one thing that I would like to see changed. The inventory management could be a little bit better. I think you gain one glyph slot per level up, because we can see I already gained 2 more. So okay, that's a totally fine method of yeah, you can see there you unlock 1 additional slot per level up. So I had to figure that out on my own, but I could have just gone over there. So the tutorial is a little bit clunky. We really haven't seen much of a tutorial at all in the game, but that wasn't really a problem for me. Many of the things I figured out on my own, but I have been playing ARPGs for more than 20 years, so a player who is not familiar with how ARPG works will definitely have a little bit of trouble with all of the different stuff. I also feel that the weapon system and the shield system can be explained a lot better, and instead of having this over here, traditionally you would have a character, like your character model, with the weapon in one hand and the shield in the other hand, and then your scarf, and then your hat and your amulet, you know, stuff like that. And then obviously pants and boots and that kind of stuff, even though this game does not have pants or boots or a chest armor or anything like that. It literally just has a weapon slot, a shield slot, scarf, hat and amulet. So it's literally 3 items of body gear, I guess I can say, and then a weapon and a shield. So it's very, very bare bones, but there's nothing wrong with that. So I really think that the inventory system can be done a little bit better. I think the inventory screen needs to either be made bigger, the inventory that you have needs to be made bigger, or you need to have a separate inventory for your glyphs, an entire separate inventory. So all of these glyphs that's currently taking up more than 50% of my inventory needs to go into a separate glyph only storage. So all of your glyphs would go into a separate storage, and then all of your regular items will be here. So it would look something like this, for instance. All of your glyphs would be basically gone. It would be in a completely separate inventory, and then it will look something like this, you know, like all of your items over there, and then a separate item for all of your glyphs, a separate inventory for all of your glyphs. That's really something that I would like to see done. But otherwise than that, I don't really have any problem at all with the inventory system. The class system is really nice. I really look forward to being able to unlock more classes, because at the beginning I gave the criticism of the fact that the game is going to be like a MOBA. It's going to be very bland with only 3 skills, but as we then found out, you actually get multiple classes. So you're not just going to have these 4 skills. You're going to have another 4 skills over here and another 4 skills over here. And you're also going to have 3 sets of passives over here, which is really, really nice. I really think the game will really get interesting once you have unlocked your second and your third class as well. Right now I'm just using the skills from a single class, but later you can use skills and passives from a second and third class, and that will allow you to obviously do combos like you can do in Titan Quest as well. Titan Quest uses a similar system to this, where you can do, like, for instance, in Titan Quest you can do a barbarian, I think it's called spear, it's something spear or guardian or something like that is the one specialization. And then you can actually use a magic specialization as your second specialization. You can use a magic specialization, so you can use shields and spears and stuff like that from the melee skill tree, but you can also cast spells and you can summon enemies, you can summon allies and stuff like that. So you will be able to do the same in this game. You will be able to have this ranged setup, but you can simply use the pets from this tree if you want. You can simply summon pets and then you can go completely melee with melee weapons like I showed you guys already. Each of the melee weapons have different attack styles, which is really cool. I now unfortunately don't have any other melee weapons to show you, but I already showed you a couple of melee weapons. There's the bow, and then there's the amulet as well. So there's, like, from what I've seen, at least 8 or 10 different weapons in the game, and each and every one of them attacks differently, which is really, really nice. So you have that thing that can make your gameplay unique. You have all of the glyphs that can make your gameplay unique. You have the skill system, the passives and the different classes that can make your gameplay unique. So each and every run that you do in this game will be completely unique. Your character will be completely unique from the character of another player, all of that kind of stuff, and that's really, really good with regards to your character progression. You know, it sucks if you play exactly the same as the next guy. That's something that I really don't like about Lost Ark. Lost Ark is another ARPG that came out recently in the Western world, I guess I can say, and one gigantic problem with that game is the fact that there is so little choice with regards to class identity and character progression. That game has almost no uniqueness when it comes to the individual player, because if you choose to be a hunter, then you are going to get exactly the same skills and exactly the same passives as the next hunter. There's very, very, very little that you can do to make your experience unique from another player's experience. So all of the hundreds and thousands of people who are playing Lost Ark, at least 20 or 30,000 of them who choose the hunter class are going to have exactly the same experience, and then the other 20 or 30,000 who choose to use the wizard class are going to have pretty much exactly the same experience with a wizard. And I mean, that's really not good. You want each and every character to be different and each and every character to have its own identity. So you can do a fire mage, and the next guy can do a frost mage, and the next guy can do a lightning mage, and that's simply not something you can do in Lost Ark. But in this game you can absolutely do that by combining the different classes. Like I said, it's exactly the same system as what you find in Titan Quest and in Grim Dawn, and both Titan Quest and Grim Dawn are fantastic ARPGs in my opinion. So that's really good. I like the day-night system. It's a little bit quick in my opinion, but it's nice. I like games that have day-night systems. I don't like the fact that your summons, your leopards and your crows, disappear after about 5 minutes. Then you have to resummon them. I would much prefer it if they were permanent. I also really don't like the fact that you can't see the pets on the screen, on the map. So if you summon them, you're supposed to be able to show them on the map, and they simply do not show up on the map. They don't show up on that mini map over there, and they don't show up on this map over here, and you can't see them at the top left or anything like that as you can in Diablo 2, for instance. So that's really something that should be implemented in the game, because you should be able to see the HP of all of your summoned creatures at all times, and you should be able to see their locations as well, and any buffs that they have as well. Right now I can't see if my crows have any buffs, so that's another pretty big problem, to be honest. But yeah guys, like, honestly, I can totally recommend this game. I'm really enjoying the game. I really did not expect such a good ARPG to be coming from two Chinese solo devs. Like, it's really quite impressive that this game was developed by only 2 people. So I really can recommend the game. Like I said to you guys, this game is the full game that I'm playing right now. There's nothing missing. There's no classes or weapons or nothing like that. No hidden content, no coming soon content, nothing like this. And I really like the game. Honestly, I really like the game. I would pay easily, I would say, $20 for this game. Easily $20. Like, if you look at Titan Quest or Grim Dawn, those games when they released were like $30 or $40. Now obviously this game is much different from those games. The graphics firstly is worse. It's not even, I would almost say, a good type of pixel graphics. It's not honestly a good type of pixel graphics. If you look at this lion statue, you can see it's rough. It's really rough. The icons of the different items are rough. It's not very detailed. The entire game is a little bit rough. There's no voice acting in the game at all. Everything is very low poly, I guess I can say. Like, all of these bushes, basically the entire game is like this. Very low poly, I guess I can say. The water actually looks nice, but the rest of the stuff, I mean, look at that. It's very low quality, low resolution stuff. So it doesn't look very good in my opinion, and it doesn't compare at all with games like Titan Quest or Grim Dawn or Last Epoch or Path of Exile at all when it comes to the graphics. So I don't think this game should be priced the same as those games, like $30, $40, but I would absolutely pay $20 for this game. So the game isn't released right now, and I don't have a set price for you right now. The game releases in about a month from now, from me recording this video. But I can honestly say, if the game is $20, maybe $25, I would absolutely pay that price for this game. I really look forward to playing this game more. I will be playing this game more. I really appreciate the devs giving me access to the full version of the game, which from what I can tell on YouTube no one has gotten yet. Everyone is playing the demo, whereas I'm playing the full version of the game. Once the game releases onto early access on Steam, they will be working on the multiplayer, so the game will have multiplayer as well as a full single player campaign, and that's really quite good. You know, it will then be like Titan Quest or Path of Exile, anything like that, where it's an ARPG that also has multiplayer that you can play with friends as well. So that will really be just a little bit of icing on the cake as well from a gameplay standpoint, because obviously no matter how good the single player experience is, the multiplayer experience is also always very fun. It's fun to run through dungeons and stuff like that with your friends, and you can obviously do combos with your friends as characters. You know, they can run certain auras, you can run different auras, that kind of stuff, you know. So that will certainly be something to look forward to, which currently is not available. Currently only the full single player campaign is available, but like I said, I will absolutely be playing through the single player campaign, and I really am enjoying the game so far. What little I've played from it, everything basically has been good, apart from the couple of little things that I've said so far. So yeah guys, with that being said, I would really appreciate it if you guys could head over to my nexus.gg/LFB gaming link if you are going to buy any Steam games. If you buy Steam games through there, you are buying them directly from the developers. It's not a scam site like G2A or anything like that. You buy keys directly from the developers, and because you are buying keys directly from the developers, that means that the developer is getting 30% more of your money, and the developer is nice enough to kick back 2 or 3 or 4 or 5% of that money to me. So it's a free way for you guys to support the channel and support the developers, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. So it would be really appreciated if you are going to purchase any Steam games in the future to head on over to nexus.gg/LFB gaming to see if that developer is selling their game on Steam. Obviously not all games are available on there, but there are some fantastic games that are being sold on there by the developers, like God of War and stuff like that. So yeah guys, that's pretty much it. I am really surprised by how good this game turned out to be, and I can completely recommend that you guys buy this game when it is released April 14th. And if it costs anything below $25, then I can say absolutely go ahead and buy it. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you guys next time.